the imagination necessary to see beyond what we have has just sort of disappeared. This is capitalist realism. But if you go and look at his actual political commitments, like what would a Mark Fisher program look like, it never particularly got beyond saying, wasn't post-war social democracy pretty good, really, right? And let's do some more of that. So you have this kind of slow cancellation in the future. And the response to that is to say, let's wind the clock back a bit.
Alameda's research on popular sovereignty involved commissioning a research on the struggles of courier drivers, motorboys, and delivery app workers. And in this research, they examined that there is a disproportion that it's very striking between the capacity of delivery app workers, for example, to stop large cities, that they can actually bring huge companies to a halt with quite punctual actions and so on. But this power doesn't really translate in a capacity to negotiate better conditions, because the waiting game that sets up once you produce this kind of big halt of a city falls almost exclusively on them. They don't have the means to endure the type of struggle that they themselves create. If you then tell them something like, well, but then you need a union. You need to unionize in such a way that you can build this power. And they will say no. They saw the crumbling of this political instrument in such a way. They don't seem to have that nostalgia, but then they make it very explicit the type of problem that they face. Okay, but then where is this capacity to endure going to come from? And I think it boils down, deep down, to the problem of the conflict between labor and militant work. You know, if you don't have the conditions to have minimal free time, you don't have conditions to sacrifice your free time for political purposes.